Hey folks, Positive Paul. It is Friday, January 30th, 2020. One of the things that I think some of us are trying to impress upon whoever will listen concerning the hybrid issue, concerning these reptoids, is that it's something that we're at the apogee of all this. And you know, they were on top, and now it's a downhill slide for them. And the reason being is that we've all been led to believe that there really are no biblical ramifications concerning God's people. Now, when he said that God had said he appointed me another seed, that, you know, was not just for kicks. Now we got to ask ourselves, why is there no genealogy for Cain? And don't tell me about Timothy. You know, we've got to at least understand where you came from to know where you're at and where you're going. So there is no genealogy for Cain. And that's due to Elohim's dissatisfaction with Yahweh's creation, the hybrids. Now this mark, I would imagine that yes, it was a physical mark, but also it's a frequency thing. And to just overlook the enmity, you know, Genesis 3:15, and think that there's no, you know, no relevancy concerning that, you're missing the point. Now, with that being said, it's very difficult to try to discuss this stuff unless you have a lot of time, a secure location, and you're going to have an actual real audience that can take in the information and decide for themselves. Now, again, we need to take periods of time. Now, when we look after World War II, there's no doubt that they had a hybrid breeding program. You can't have this modern day fascination with cloning and deny the existence of a hybrid breeding program immediately after World War II. This is what the Nazis were up to. Now, when you look at when they started, clearly I can see this on how from the start of the hybrid program and within 20 years, meaning from the years 1946 up until the mid-60s, when the whole 60s scene came about with the music, the sexual liberation, the drugs, all that. You have to tell yourself one or two things. Did this really happen organically, or was it a thing that was, you know, designed from the get-go? There was an elaborate plan that was step by step. Now, the only way this could be accomplished, if the one side is doing this, has lots of time on their hands, which we know the demonic realm does, and all the characters that go along with it. So these hybrids, you'll see them start coming, you know, into the scene, into the American public consciousness with the music, especially in the 60s. And when you examine some of these musicians, clearly what we know to be the phenomenon of shape-shifting, if you look into it long enough, that, you know, hey, this isn't just some, you know, trick of the eye, some manipulation of the camera. No, this is actually taking place. Now, concerning the hybrids, if there is a race that wants to dominate another race, But yet, the race that is of pure in their generations can clearly see this dominating force with their own eyes, meaning the hybrids, versus a human. The hybrids, meaning the dominating force, or the force that wants to dominate the others, has to find a way to somehow mix in, get in the mix and not be seen, not be detected, kind of look like them, infiltrate. Now, this was a process over time, and I could just imagine some of these freaks of nature that they were coming up with back in the late 50s and 60s. But now, you see, especially with some of these YouTube frauds, that yes, okay, they've got, their excuses on where they came from and who their families are, and they, if you really put them to task, yes, they'll come up with excuses. But here's the thing, folks. These people, again, there's something about them that they could just, like a flip of a switch, be turned to do whatever it is that's called upon them to do. And if that's be a lowly YouTube fraud to mislead people about these targeting issues concerning the Americans, the phenomenon of gang stalking, targeting, that if it truly exists, but the reason why it exists is to breed out humans, then these hybrids need to be phonies. They need to be YouTube frauds and mislead people. Now, who knows if I'm making any sense, right? Clearly, I'm the most censored person on YouTube. Here, I'll give you another clue about these YouTube frauds. When one goes down, another pops up. And when you see these people pop out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're picking up subscribers exponentially, month by month, and the same existing YouTube frauds are glomming onto them in the comment section with the silliest of comments, the silliest of dialogues, and these frauds do not want to touch the hybrid issue with a 10-foot pole. Right there's another clue on this person might be suspect and might be an infiltrator. Because look, there's no lack of these YouTube frauds. They keep popping up like weeds. Pop the weasel. One goes down, another one pops up. So look, we all want to be warm and fuzzy, but if there's no one to point out the disinfo, the lies, we're never going to solve this problem. And then that comes down to what is the final solution, biblical ramifications. Now again, I'm just doing this off the top of my head just to try to put out some information that most of you don't want to hear, you don't like. So, hoping I go away is not going to save you. If you are a YouTube fraud and you try to latch on to me to try to get information, there is no salvation for you if you're a hybrid. And I'm talking all these hybrids born after World War II. This is why they're having these electromagnetic distortions, all right? This is why they can go on there and boldly lie, red-faced, right in front of all you people across America. So, yeah, anyway, here we are. You know, the whole attitude of if it's not in my backyard, who cares? That's what America's boiled down to. A bunch of backstabbing Benedict Arnolds who say, if it's not in my backyard, who cares? Because you people are hanging on to this material world. And it's about, the rug is about to get pulled out from under all of us. And if there is a way out, which there is, and another part of these YouTube frauds is to make you think there is no way out, which is salvation through Jesus. Enough people out there, forget about people that call themselves targets. What about all these watchmen and watchwomen? Again, you YouTube frauds that are disregarding this are slapping them in the face. And yes, some of them we know are wolves in sheep's clothing. We know all about it. Well, the wind's picking up. Anyway, keep your eyes to the sky and may God find his way in your heart.